Hi, this is Kim. Welcome to a weekly review. Looking at the euro dollar first, and well, last week we ended up with a pretty decent week. Now, leading up to the week, it looked, I mean, I'll put it back to where we was, and I mean, it looks pretty negative. We managed to get a double bottom in week on week, and we managed to see 3 days of decent of a retracement there, almost taking out the sort of the near-term highs there. So it's right on the borderline there. At this stage, though, we're a day in and we've got a blip, and I think this may be very much what we could be due. However, we do have non-farm payrolls on Friday. We've got some other decent data coming in during the week. I think we may get a bit of volatility around Wednesday. Bearing in mind non-farms is coming in on Friday. We'll get the ADPs out. They seem to be doing a little bit more. We've got some services data, UK services coming out. US services. So there's and of course already the Bank of England interest rate statement. So there's quite a lot coming out. So let's go through the week a little bit in a moment on that, but let's look at the rest of the technical analysis here from a daily point of view. Now, as I say, we got in quite bullish. We haven't yet come back on the euro to. It's clear on this right-hand chart actually, the 4-hourly chart. Haven't come back to the monthly pivot yet. I'd like to see that out of the way, but it doesn't have to be hit. It's just it's got a high probability of doing so. But if we push on, the bank stress tests were pretty good on Friday. Apparently, there's one bank failing. If we can push on from that good news, we could be up to the monthly R1 first. That's always a chance. Certainly didn't manage it last month to get upwards in that way. At the moment, as I say, it's looking a bit more bullish. It's the only thing is when it's had such a run. Perhaps if we break down through this 4-hourly 8, we'll be down for the weekly pivot, but yet to do that. And it's still really, I mean, it's a bullish flag in this shorter time frame, so or very short time frame. Bear in mind, I'm looking at the week. I would like to see, as I say, like to see that weekly pivot out the way, and then it gives us more scope for continuation to build on where we are. Looking at the euro specifically with news, it's really backed by dollar news rather than euro news. We've had some PMI figures coming out today. Nothing significant's happening there. Tomorrow, really, I'm just running through. We've got some individual country figures coming through. Nothing significant. Wednesday again, nothing at all that I can see of significance, and leading into Thursday, nothing, and Friday, nothing. So really, we just got to be aware then of the US-backed data coming through there, and tomorrow we got not a lot, and then on Wednesday we got, of course, the ADPs, and then the services PMI or non-manufacturing PMI coming out on Wednesday. Thursday could get a bit of bias from the Bank of England inflation report, etc., and the decision there may give a bit of a kick. And we've got Carney speaking at 12:30, may have a bit of knock-on effect into the eurozone. And then on Friday, of course, we got non-farm payroll. So that's the sort of main figures. Nothing specific key for the euro. We've got German factory orders out Friday morning. Barely does anything. It's out at 7 o'clock in the morning, but it may give a bit of a flavour. But as I say, barely does anything. Okay, let's look at the pound. As I said last week, we've still, for me, there's still potential for further upside. Last week ended up as a positive week in the end, just. I'm still looking for that weekly 21 at some point if we can push up there. Maybe a struggle this week with the data that's coming out, but we have already come back, tested the monthly pivot, and it's looking reasonably sound from that test. I mean, it has just literally bounced off it. Pretty much, and well, if we can get back through the daily 21, well, we could be on for further upside here. It's on the positive side of the pivot. It's also put on a currently positive side of the weekly pivot. So both pivots, it's as I say, more bullish than bearish at this juncture. Of course, that could all change come Wednesday. But in the meantime, as I say, I'm erring towards the buy side on good opportunities, unless we start taking out the weekly pivot and start making sort of lower highs, which we would do if we took out the today's low, basically. Okay, that's pretty much dollar yen. Well, it looks like there's insufficient softening and occurring, and the yen's gained a lot of strength. Put in a big pivot swing here on the weeklies. Could see a continuation. If we break last week's lows there, we could see a continuation back towards that 100 area. And boy, they're not going to be very happy with that. But it's on the cards at the moment. If we can get any rally, we've got the monthly pivot, you can see on the right hand side a lot easier, and weekly pivot. Both these pivots are sitting to the upside there, so any bounces, I would look for that for a draw. But again, looking at the 4-hourly 8 I know it's short term, but I'm looking at that in the short term to see if we get some sort of guidance to the upside. Aussie dollar, let's come out to the weeklies there. Again, bullish bar there, almost, well, it looks like almost bullish engulfing there with a potential for upside. It really, again, last week I was quite pessimistic about it with the pivot swing it put in. It broke the lows there, but just managed to hang in there into the monthly pivot and hold around the monthly pivot towards the end of the week. So sitting where we're sitting now, just fractionally above the weekly and monthly, which is erring again towards the bullish side. You might suggest on the 4 hourlies here, I'm looking at, I know it's a short time frame, but it's bullish looking. But really, if we can stay above this monthly pivot, I'm erring more towards the bullish side without a lot of hope, basically. I don't think we're going to see a great deal of range done. There's nothing significant. I don't think. It's just have a quick flick through on here. Aussie wise, what we got coming out, we've already had a bank holiday today, building approvals tomorrow, no trade balance, you may get a few other things. We've got the interest rate statement coming out tomorrow actually, so there is some stuff there that we may just do something at 5:30 a.m. if you're up early enough. Leading through the week, Aussie dollar retail sales, and then again, as I said, with the euro, you've really got to look at the euro side of these trades. There's a statement on Friday at 2:30 a.m. as well. So again, those are the figures, those are the dates to be looking at the Aussie. I'm believing it may just remain relatively contained. Canadian dollar seen another blip up here in the week's basis. Let's just come on to the weekly basis. More of a reversal there on a bit more weak US dollar than anything else. If you look at oil, it was looking at, big bearish week there, and we've seen a continuation today. So it's the Canadian dollar's really last week, it's really on Canadian strength rather than anything else. It certainly wasn't on the oil, otherwise it would have been flying through the top here. And as I said before, I was expecting more upside on this, the way the oil price has been coming down than anything else, even though it's a sort of a bearish wedge. Looking down the time frames here, again, we've run through the monthly pivot, got it out of the way. We're fractionally above or around about the weekly pivot at the moment, so it's erring towards a bit bullish side of continuation. I'd like to see that because it just keeps the correlation with oil right. It's nothing else. We've got to keep it technical, of course, but oil's coming off, and I would expect the Canadian dollar to push up further on that basis. Okay, that's pretty much everything. So as I said, with the key news events, Monday's already out of the way. Tuesday we've got Aussie dollar, we've got cash rate and interest rate statement, so that will be coming out later Asian session at 5:30 a.m. And then we've got construction PMI that's expected to come in quite dismal, really around about the 44% area. Anything positive on that would see the pound rally, but anything worse will see it drop off quite a bit, I think. Moving into Wednesday, we've got services PMI UK figures coming out first thing at 9:30. A key figure again, and at the moment, the projected figure came out at 47.4 last time. We've missed the manufacturing figure today. If this gets missed again, I think we could be selling all sell. That would create selling pressure leading into the following day. Non-farm payrolls, the ADP figure, I'm sure it would create a bit of volatility with the US dollar and obviously the corresponding currencies, and services PMI later in the afternoon again. It could give us a bit of a kicker. So some volatility at least this coming week. Leading into Wednesday, we've got the Bank of England inflation reports, then all coming out at 12 o'clock. So we've got inflation report, you've got the rate decision. There's an expectation that they may reduce it this time. There was an expectation they may reduce it last time. It didn't happen. We saw quite a big rally, then it dropped. I'd expect a similar sort of thing to happen. I'd expect a bit of a rally and then a drop. The voting didn't come in expectation last time. It's 0.90. I'd be surprised if they cut it in some respects, but at this point, I think there's too many things that are okay, but obviously the services and they'll depend on the services figures, etc. It may just put a bit more pressure on them to do it sooner rather than later, but I've got a funny feeling they may just hold off. Anyway, we got Carney speaking at 12:30 then at that point, and then unemployment claims, US, okay, that's no real action. And then on Friday, really the big figure is, well, actually at 8:30 we've got a minor figure at UK, Halifax House Price Index. Be quite important to see how that's coming out, bearing in mind the jitters and everything with the markets. I think it's going to be okay. But then we got later on, we got the non-farm payrolls, Canadian figures coming out at the same time. So CAD, the dollar CAD would be a difficult trade in some respects, although it may get a double whopper depending on the data that comes out. But non-farm payrolls on Friday, again, giving us a bit more guidance to the potential of further rate increases this year. Okay, that's pretty much it. So potentially some great volatility throughout periods. I would suggest that the rest of the periods that may be pretty quiet. We've seen it already today. Long periods, in fact, let me bring you down to an intraday chart. This is a 30-minute chart, but it's just had long periods of it had some rallies, etc. Sorry, this is Canadian dollar. Let's just bring the pound into play because this was classic at one stage. But look at the 30-minute bars here, just chopping, and that's the way it's running at the moment. So nice movements earlier on, bit of a retracement, and then lots of chop. I expect the days to be a bit like this. The euro was worse. Just run through the euro. It's a 30-minute chart. Look, it's trying to break out of this channel that I drew on there earlier on, just fractionally pushing to the top there. But look at the very top. This range is like 20 or so pips wide. I think it's just a reminder of how wide it is. Well, not even 20 pips. That's 19 pips wide. A very, very small range on the euro. As I say, I expect it to be like this. I'm looking at the bigger time frames, looking for some decent movements and trading off. A lot of the time I'm trading off pretty much a 60-minute chart for decisions, and are coming from that, looking at the 5-minute for placement. But I'm not expecting big things this week. If we can get good trades out first thing in the morning, maybe one or two in the afternoons as well, with news coming out there, we should be happy. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye.